welcome to Trust Television. We have a session of special interview with Governor Aminu Bello Masari, the Governor of Katsina State. Your Excellency, welcome to Trust TV.
Thank you very much.
Let me start by maybe going into a little bit of your background. You started life, I believe, as some sort of engineering job in the water ministry. Tell us a little bit more about it, because a lot of people will be surprised, a politician being in the engineering sector at the beginning.
Well, I started as a technical assistant in the Department of Hydrological Services, Ministry of Water Resources, in North Central there.
In Kaduna?
In Kaduna. That was in 1969. From there, I attended various courses in Nigeria and outside. And I worked here as officer in charge of Katsina Water Supply. I worked in Malumfashi as assistant resident engineer. I was district manager Dusuma. I was district manager Funtua. I was chief procurement officer at headquarters in Kaduna. When the state was created in 1987, I came here as district manager in charge of Katsina Metropolis and surrounding. And from there, I also went to ASCON. I studied senior management course. When I came back, I was appointed Assistant General Manager Operations. I was there as Assistant General Manager Operations. I was invited by Alhaji Saidu Barda to come and be a commissioner. That was my entrance into politics. That was January 1992. So I was appointed commissioner and posted to Ministry of Works, Housing and Transport.
So it was a commissionership that really got you interested in public service.
Exactly. Before then, I was a simple civil servant, and I was not directly involved in politics, except, when we were in service, when we were having our differences between Katsina and Zaria, and they were promoting Zaya, we were promoting Katsina Daura Youth Movement. I was an Assistant Secretary General, and that was an internal thing. But by 1992, I had become a partisan politician under the NRC, National Republican Convention. From there, after Abacha coup, there was Constitutional Conference. I contested Malumfashi, Kafur, and Danja, and I represented them in the Constituent Assembly. We were under Katsina People's Front with late General Edward as our leader, because what we did here in Katsina then, we formed a group, Katsina People's Forum, of which Mustafa Yah was my secretary. I was the chairman, and we organized pre-conference discussions, and most people from Katsina, including late General Hassan Adwa, late Bala Usman, many were here. to articulate a position for Katsina under the leadership of General Shehu Yaradua. So when we went to the conference, he floated a political association, and he selected me and two other people to go and set up structures of this association in Cross Rivers and Akwa Ibom. So we went there, myself with one late professor, I think Sabo is late now, from Kano. He was in ABU then.
Yeah, BUK.
BUK, yes. So when we came back with the chairman of the association here in Katsina State, and we were not registered when Shehu was arrested, charged, and sentenced. Ultimately, he died in prison. So we were not registered. So some of us stepped aside. But we have many supporters, young generation politicians and people who are interested in various offices. So most of our group joined the UNCP because we wanted our people to contest the election. But for us, we say we are not contesting, because you cannot contest an election where the goalposts keep on changing. So when Abacha died, then we regrouped again under the PDP, and I contested. I had wanted to contest Senate, but later on I dropped the idea of Senate. I contested House of Representatives.
Why the House of Representatives? Is it easier, cheaper for you?
No, there were a lot of alignment and realignment. So, under UNCP, former Deputy Governor Tukurji Kamshi, and MT Liman contested and the primaries, and Tukurji Kamshi won, the former deputy. So when it was time under PDP, the elders said, look, MD Liman has suffered enough. So why, since you are contesting for the first time, why not contest House of Representatives? Allow him to go to Senate. That's how it happened. God in his own wisdom, knowing everything, I ended up a Speaker of the House.
Yes.
Which by far better than being a senator.
Tell us how you became Speaker, because you are not really one of the contenders. I know that after the first Speaker was removed, you are the first Speaker.
I think it's very interesting to know that I was the first person to be contacted.
By who?
When Obasanjo came here for a thank you visit after the election, he discussed with the late President Umaru.
Who was then governor?
And he said he believes I will make a good speaker.
Obasanjo.
Umar told Obasanjo. So Obasanjo invited me. I came. He said, well, Umar has spoken well about you, and so I want you to come and be the speaker. They came here with Iocha Ayu and many others. Then he said, okay, Umaru should take me to Kaduna to see General Aliyu. So we went to Kaduna. Umaru saw General Aliyu. I don't know what they discussed. I don't know, because I was not there. Because he entered, I waited. So when he came out, he said, let's go. When we came back to his residence, he said, okay, Laja Aminu, just leave these people. They may regret their decision. This is what he said.
So apparently they are backing somebody at that point.
Exactly. No, there was they want to button somebody, they want to back somebody through means which was not possible. So eventually, before they knew it, the first speaker has gone round, has visited all members. He came to Katsina, he came to all the states.
The chair from Kano.
The chair from Kano. So Buhari. So Buhari became speaker, and he recognized some of us as being elders by age, because we were older than him. And so he accorded us some respect. He said, I could remember they invited me, they said they wanted me to serve in the selection committee and all this. That is then. So I wasn't really very much interested. So I kept my distance. We had a group of people of my age, experience, and others who were relating. We had no problem with the leadership until when the problem came that consumed him ultimately, and the Gali came on board as speaker. But we still kept our distance to our group. We did not get, I did not get involved in for those wanting to remove Gali or those wanting to remove Obasanjo. I have interaction with both groups, and I told them my position. So that's how it ended. By the end of the last year, Gari created a committee of this house. I don't know. It's a committee which really is a bit bogus, and I was made the chairman. And so we continued about house bills and all this, and that's how we went until.
But how did Gali lose out and eventually you became speaker? What was the problem?
Gali didn't win election. So he didn't come back after 2003 election. He lost the election. You know, that was the year Buhari contested. And even in Katsina here, 15 of us from PDP, only 8 of us survived. Of the 3 senators of PDP, only 1 survived. AMPP, because of Buhari's influence, took 7 members and 2 senators. So we were equal in the National Assembly, 9-9.
So the speakership was zoned to Katsina, more or less. There seemed to have been an understanding.
It was zoned to Northwest.
Northwest.
It was zoned to Northwest.
But
I was not the only person who showed interest.
Yeah, but there were leading candidates from Katsina, not only you. I remember Bugaji was there, and it seemed to be...
I think what really happened, our colleagues in the House, which we'll call lead group, 13 returning members, sat and said, I should come and be the speaker. One, even talking about Bugaji was a newcomer.
That was his first
That is his
term.
first term. So the person who was in his second term in Katsina State was myself and Garba Shehu Matazu. Kano, Farooq Lawan, and others. Because of the 24 of them, only 10 of them came back, 14 AMPP. So that's how it started. We were insisting that unless you have cognitive experience. So anyway, Bugaji had his campaign outfit, I had mine. And also, Garba Shehu Matazu had his own. Later Aminu Savana had his own from Katsina. But later on, Aminu and Garba Matazu collapsed into my own campaign outfit. So we had a selection process, which is like an election itself in Kaduna for all the Northwest members of the House of Representatives. Alhaji Lord Keita was...
the elders were there also.
Yes. Alhaji Lord Keita was leading. He was the most senior elder. And based on the relationship, one could say under normal condition, he would have been more with Bugaje because of Atiku factor and all that. But when the entire leadership, elected governors, elders, elected members sat and said, look, we are endorsing Aminu. I saluted the courage of Alhaji Lawal Keita. He called me, he called Bugaji in front of everybody. He said, well, we have decided in Northwest to support Aminu. So Bugaji, please step down.
Did he agree? Did he agree and also issue?
I think I can say he agreed because he did not contest. He did not contest. Certainly, like any other human being, he was not happy. Bugaji is my personal friend, not in the house, long time ago. So we were not knowing each other because of House of Reps. We knew each other before that.
So tell us about your tenure as Speaker. At least it seems that one of the more difficult moments when Obasanjo seems to want a third term. How did you react to that, and how true is this movement for third term? We keep hearing different stories about it.
Well, you see, first of all, it was true. There was an attempt to amend the constitution to allow for president and governors to do third term. And it started with the idea of convocation of political reform something, if you could remember what Obasanjo did. And he sent, he wanted to legislate for it. And when we had a meeting in the villa, at least myself, I'm alive, my deputy is alive, Bawa Buhari is alive, Ningi is alive, Mantu is late, Wabara is alive, and Sarki Tafida is alive. We met in the First Lady's office. Then, I can't remember his name, the Attorney General. Then, one tall, lanky senior advocate, I think he's from Ondo State, I'm not sure. He gave us a direct copy of what they wanted to present as a bill to support the constitutional political reform arrangement he had. After going through, most of some of the members agreed with the proposal, and I said, well, I have a contrary view. First, the Constitution of 1999 does not envisage a fourth assembly. So, this law is binding on who if we enact it. It can't be superior to the Constitution. So it is safer to allow this political reform something to submit their report to the president. If he feels comfortable with the report, then he can send a bill, whether a law is required or amendment to the Constitution. that what killed that idea. We all left. Certainly, the initiators of the idea were not happy.
How was your relationship with Obasanjo after that?
Well, I think, surprisingly, up to now, I have good relationship with Obasanjo because I know where he stands, he knows where I stand. We agree to disagree.
Mm. So what is the fundamental basis of your disagreement with him? Is it just the third time you didn't think it was constitutional?
No, I think we had there were many issues which people the amendment to the constitution was the climax, but there were many issues. The attempt to dismember Labour Party was one of them, and even the pension. We had to go, made many amendments to accommodate. There were many issues that were passionate to him, and the National Assembly, we had contrary views or different approaches. But like we always said, we agree to disagree. We don't abuse him. We don't do. I don't see the wisdom in abusing somebody who is older than you and who is the president of your country. And even so, I give him the respect of his office. So there's a better way of saying no,
By the end of your tenure as a speaker, you are the most senior politician from Katsina. A lot of people, perhaps including yourself, expected that you now move to the governor of Katsina, but that didn't happen. Well,
you see, that was the price I had to pay for the stand I took. When this issue of amending the constitution came, I made my position very clear that those who want to amend the constitution has provision for its amendment. And those who don't want to amend the constitution, they are also right in not wanting. But what we will do as leaders, we will strictly go by the rules. Going by the rules, it will be impossible to amend the constitution. We know that.
So who was unhappy with that? Is it only Obasanjo or there are more people?
Well, there are many people involved. Many state governors would have been beneficiaries. And those who brought the idea to Obasanjo would have been beneficiaries. Appointees, patronages, and all this would have been beneficiaries. So Obasanjo told me, he didn't tell it outside. He doesn't get it, nobody will get it. So I wasn't surprised. But there were many overtures. But I said, I can't do anything that is unconstitutional because I am first among equals. The leadership in the National Assembly is one that you can go in as leader and come out as an ordinary member. It's simple as that. So you are first among the equals. Anybody in the chamber can occupy your position.
Yeah. When I think a lot of people had the impression that maybe also your relationship with Umaru Yar'Adua, who was the outgoing governor, had a lot to do with why you didn't become governor at that time. He didn't want you to be.
But you see, initially, in front of witnesses that are alive, he said I should do.
But did he mean it?
Well, that is a different matter. But one thing I said, I am not hungry of being governor of Katsina State. If for whatever reason he feels that he doesn't want me, just call me. My problem with Umaru is that he did not call me to tell me, look, I'm going to be president. I am the one who bought the form the expression of interest from Umar to be president.
You bought it?
Yes. I am among the 5 people Obasanjo trusted to work on the project of Umaru. We started it.
So why did she support you to be governor?
Because the constitutional amendment failed. And Obasanjo, for whatever reason, it's simple. If Obasanjo was given Umaru presidency, and he said the condition of being president is so becomes governor, will Umaru say no?
So in the end, it was Obasanjo who really influenced the process of who became...
Of course, I don't need anybody to say that. But it doesn't offend me. I don't see... Obasanjo may be right, because he came with a request which he believed I did not support. I did not work for him to succeed. So if he has not succeeded, why should I succeed? So it's 1-1. So for me, there was no problem at all.
But still, they went into this period of political oblivion, maybe, if I can use that word. You are, or they say, political doghouse. You are not in the reckoning. Perhaps even you really suffered politically, and for a long period you are not really in the... how did you cope with that? You are not in the...
You see, I always thank God. I have a very simple life. As you see me here as a governor, I can walk out here, take a motorcycle, ride on it and go home without feeling anything in my head. Umaru is dead, may his soul rest in peace. But Obasanjo is alive. Erufai is alive. No Rubada is alive. I told Obasanjo, I don't want even a messenger position under the government of Umaru. In front of Umaru, Obasanjo is there. You don't want to be relevant. Relevance is from God. Relevance is not from you or from Umaru.
You were angry with them?
No. You see, I want to assert my inner independence because I believe in God. Look, Malam Kabir, I lost my father when I was 2 years, 14 days. This Bello I am bearing is my senior brother who is only 7 years older than me. So he was also under the care of our mother, myself and him. Our elder sister was about 15 years old. She has just delivered. Her first child is only 3 months older than me. And I survived to come here. All what God has done to me? No. Why should that? No.
So, remarkably, you made a comeback. Because it doesn't always happen. I know so many speakers who are still out there, but you made a comeback. You are part of. And how did it happen? A lot of people are surprised that you were for a long time in PDP, yet you came back to the Buhari movement and became a governor.
You know, when we left office, with the way PDP was going, Ken Inamani, myself, Arofai, we wanted to reform PDP. At that time, PDP had about 29 states. I can't remember exactly, but over 500 local governments. We said if PDP reform, other smaller parties and parties will reform. So we have a better political environment. The development of democracy will be better for it. In that process, Umar fell sick, and a lot of things happened. We were having a political meeting in Dubai. It was Kani Namani, myself, Erofai, Nuhu, and some 2 other people. And I saw Adamu Waziri. Yeah, I saw at least about 54 of us saying that Maru should resign because he did not communicate with the National Assembly.
That is, he didn't pass his own mandate to the Vice President.
But well, the procedure is if you communicate with the National Assembly saying that he's going on sick leave, yes, so automatically the Vice President would have become acting President. So we sat down, we looked at it. Ken Namani said he's going to issue a statement because there was never any meeting with him. I think that there was a movement under Pastor Bakari. Was it Save Nigeria or something? Yes. And myself and Adamu Waziri said, no, I'm not going to withdraw my name.
So you agree with the statement? Even though you didn't really...
Yes, I agreed with it because, in fact, denying it, in fact, would even make me look bad. So myself and Adamu Waziri, we refused. And Erufai. We came back to Nigeria, some pressmen, some of my good friends, somebody even went and spoke to the press that I said I did not. I called the pressman and I said, correct him. I did. I supported what is written. So there was some people organized a protest here in Katsina that I should be removed at the Latin Katsina, that they are going to burn my house. So this reform, which we had wanted to do, what really shocked me was Obasanjo supported us. We went to PDP caucus. Let me go back a little. You know, PDP came out and suspended me, Ken Enamani, Doc Pesi, Peter Odili, and most of them that are prominent, about 8 of us were suspended.
For anti-party activity?
Yes. Then when Jonathan became president, Norman December became vice president, he was made a chairman to reconcile us. So he called us. We met on the party and said, okay, the party should go and issue a statement that they have withdrawn the suspension and that issues we raised will be taken to Board of Trustees and to NEC. And then subsequently they withdrew the suspension. We went to Board of Trustees, being chaired by Obasanjo. And Obasanjo, the Board of Trustees recommended that we should go to NEC. We went to NEC. Luckily enough for Ken Enamani didn't go. I was the one who represented the forum there because I'm a member by being a former speaker. Governors one by one dressed us down, called us all sorts of names. I pity Ahmad Ali, who wanted to support us. He was shouted down and said, after all.
He was the chair of the party.
But then he has stepped down.
He stepped down, okay.
What shocked me is Jonathan was there. We had a meeting with him when he was acting president. He said if not because of his position, he would have joined us. We had a meeting with him after he became president, and he directed his chief of staff to liaise with us. All what we are doing. And on that day, governor after governor, chairman after chairman were looking at my face, calling us all sorts of names. He did not offer a word of defense.
So this is what led you to
So when
move
I
out
came
of
out,
PDP
I said,
and
well,
become...
then I have no place in this place.
So how did you tie up with Buhari and become part of the APC? And very relevant, this is his state, Katsina, became the candidate he supported instead of those who have been with him all this while.
You see, it's not that I've known Buhari or his people for the first time. Having worked in the House, I want you to note about 96 members in the House of Representatives are from Northwest.
Mm.
Of this 96, 60 at that time came from ANPP.
Mm.
So to consolidate myself even in Northwest, I need them.
Mm.
So my association with them, especially those from Katsina, those whom I have known even before going to house, and those that I met during campaign from other, particularly Northwestern states, I had very good and excellent relationship with them. I want you to remember, and others were all from ANPP. Even the governor of Zamfara, the governor of governor of Zamfara came under ANPP. Governor of Sokoto was there under ANPP. Adamu Koganet under ANPP. All of them very influential and very close to Buhari. So it was not a difficult thing for me. I didn't join ANPP. No. It was when CPC is formed. Then Hadi Sirik in particular, this are friend from Jigawa, Farooq Adamu, these two in particular talked to me. We saw General Buhari then, and so it wasn't difficult for me to be in CPC because the foot soldiers of General Muhammadu Buhari coming from Northwest are people very familiar with me.
Mm. What of he himself? Do you have a relationship with him beyond the foot soldiers?
Well, I think my relationship with him is like a big senior brother and junior brother, that's all. So that's only my relationship with him.
Now, you've been governor for 6 years. What is your most difficult moment in this period?
I think you see the most difficult moment, I can say 3 of them stand out. You know, when we came, there was a time the revenue dropped to Katsina state government getting only 2 point something billion. That cannot even pay salary. Without the budget support of the Mr. President, we couldn't have been able to pay salary. Then you have school feeding. You have treatment, water treatment chemicals. You have hospitals. These are necessary things which you must do. Then the third is the issue of insecurity. You know, build up to 2019, things have started to go bad, despite all what we did to restore normalcy in Katsina. But because a similar thing was not done in Zamfara in particular, to some extent in Kaduna and Niger. You know, Zamfara is the mother of all bandits. All the bandits. If you eliminate the banditry in Zamfara, you are 80% done. So, resources, because not only about resources, that every minute you are waiting for a call either from the constituency or from security agent, so have been killed, so have been kidnapped. Dealing with that, then came COVID. That affected the revenue, affected everything.
So what is the situation now? Is the banditry situation, has it improved?
I think through policy and some measures that we have taken collectively, all the Northwestern state governors, collectively, especially Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi, Sokoto, Niger, and Kaduna, we have seen some reduction in terms of persistent attack and kidnapping. We are still in it. We are not out of it.
Yes.
But at least when you compare to what was going on even 2 months ago or 3 months ago, one can say we thank God because we are seeing some progress.
Do you regret these talks and amnesty given to bandits? Is this something that you
see?
hindsight?
People fail to understand. When we came, when we wanted to find out what is going on in the forest, we influenced the election of an assistant director in the local government system who is full-blooded Fulani, speaks the language. His parents live in the forest of Matazu. Through him, we were able to discuss with some of the leaders. Then we realized at that time, 90% who ran into the forest were afraid of vigilante and Sakai because they were killing any Fulani man they see, any Fulani woman they see. So we invited the director SS, commissioner of police. Then what we had no brigade. We have a commanding officer. We have a battalion. They went into the forest, and the people came out. And gradually, we saw the return of commercial and economic activities and normalcy. We had 9 to 12 groups under Sharandaji patrolling, consisting of army, police, civil defense, Miyata Allah, the repentant bandits, patrolling. We had peace for almost 2 years. But gradually, because Zamfara didn't do the same thing, all the leaders that we had a deal with were killed. So their children, some out of fear, went and joined the bandits. Some fled to as far as Bauchi, Gombe, some to Jigawa, and some to many places. Through that, we were able to recover over 400 assorted AK-47 and Dengans that they voluntarily surrendered.
So the policy is okay. The only problem is the lack of collaboration.
If you say all the states, the time we did, maybe the story would have been different. And by the time, after 2019 election, the governor of Zamfara said he's embarking on dialogue. I said, well, you met us on it. And he was supported by the Inspector General of Police and the military. They say, yeah, let's talk. I said, okay. We went. I said, okay, you bandits, select your place. They selected their place. I went there. People are saying, are you not afraid? I said, why should I be afraid? If I'm afraid, I wouldn't have chosen to be a governor. So I went to their place. We discussed with them that effort did not last for 6 months. From the beginning, we know from our experience, no amount of swearing they will do is true. Always they will tell you lie. So we have given dialogue an opportunity, it failed. So why give it again? Most of the non-bandits in Katsina and Zamfara, I can say about the big ones, I can say only 3 of them didn't come here. But their relatives, their agents were in this office. Sani Dangote, Dankarami, and Dogo Gide. Dogo Gide, his uncle was here several times. So we were, in fact, I was on phone with them before. Before I was advised by the security to stop talking to them. They stopped.
So you now think only force will work now? I mean,
not only force.
Okay.
There are two. First of all, you have to dominate the forest, because if you create an open space of which they dominate, the issue is government must dominate the space. They rehabilitate those that can be rehabilitated. But the hardened ones will have to be prosecuted.
Prosecuted?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So I mean, not killed? I mean, that people
What?
would expect that probably you say.
You see, killing is an art of war. If there's confrontation between the people and them, and in the process they get killed, that is fair. Because if you don't kill them, they will kill you. That's why I say our people should not sit and be killed like ants. Look, you cannot justify arms, sophisticated arms, in the hands of a bandit or a robber, and you are saying a decent, honest man cannot hold pump action. It doesn't make sense. Say, my people should defend themselves. Who will do, and they should also sit up.
But who will arm them? Who will give them the pump action to defend themselves?
Where did these people get their own?
Well, they buy it because it's an instrument.
You see, you see, the problem with our people, and you journalists, you have to help the situation. You see, we have a situation here. The bandits will come to this village, kidnap 10 people, and they say we want 10 million, and the people will raise 5 to 10 million and give them. And the 5 and 10 million they give them, they will go and buy arms and ammunition. And they will repeat in the same village or another village. But if a good Samaritan comes to the village and says, look, we need to defend ourselves, we have to contribute money. The person who gives 1 million as ransom cannot give 10,000 to vigilante. What sort of life is this? What sort of life is this? Now, we all know the military do not have the numbers. They do not have the equipment. They do not have the technology. The same goes to the police. Now, how many police do we have in Katsina? They are not up to 30,000. Even if they are up to 30,000, with a population of about 80 million, are you telling me 266,000 to one policeman? Eh? So since we know they don't have the numbers, and they are human beings like you and me, they have flesh and blood. Why should I sit in my house in Masari village and expect somebody from Jalingo to come and defend me, while I can also defend myself. This man who was killing you, yesterday he was your neighbor. He was your neighbor. It's not holding of firearms that makes one a criminal. A criminal is a criminal. If you say holding firearms makes everybody a criminal, then nobody will be in Nigeria today. Because how many firearms are in the hands of people? The issue is exit strategy. What do we do with the arms? If the arms are in the hands of good people, it means they can be recovered. But those who are in the hands of bandits must be confiscated by all means.
When you are done as governor of Katsina State, what do you think people will remember you for?
Well, you see, let me say not what I think, but what I hope.
Mm-hmm.
My hope is people will remember that somebody called Aminu Masari was here. And he did this and that add value to our lives. That's what I want.
But what are those things?
It's up to the people. Yeah? It's up to the people to decide. I have done the best I can.
Is there anything special you have done that other governors haven't done?
You know, I don't like passing judgment of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I like people to pass judgment of me.
Mm.
But all I said, we are going to govern with the fear of God.
Mm.
We are going to be one of them as leaders, not as rulers.
Servant leader.
Exactly.
Mm.
And this issue of power will not allow it to enter us.
Mm.
As I'm talking to you, I am the only one living in the government house. My entire family, my children, they live in my house in the out. Because there is permanent. Here is temporary.
But I mean, in practical terms, have you reduced the cost of governance? Because one of the problems we have in Nigeria is that governments are very expensive. They budget huge amounts, both at the center and in the states. Convoys, things spent on the comfort of the governors rather than the people.
First of all, I don't travel with my commissioners unless I am traveling with you to perform a function that affects you. So I tend to go with the retinue of commissioners and special advisors. I go with only those who have something to do with my journey. You see, the problem is not it's not the government. The problem is the security system that unleash many SS officers, many police officers, many civil defense officers. It's a system.
They unleash them on the governors. You have to carry them.
Yes. Yes. They are the permanent residents of this building. While the governor comes and goes. And we have reduced cost of governance. Take what the previous government got from 2007 to 2014. Take what we have received from 2015 to date. And yet, we have not failed in the payment of salary. We have not failed in the running of the schools. We have not failed in fact, we improved the hospital services because we employed over 5,000 doctors, nurses, midwives, technicians, pharmacists. Even under S-Power, which apart from replacement, we have 7,500 teachers that we are paying, in addition to normal teachers that are on the payroll. And yet we have not failed to pay salary. We have not failed. If you retire today, you will be on the pension. What you are having the challenge, and you are working towards getting more money to settle gratuity. But to make sure that when you leave, your pensions. And we have already submitted a contributory pension scheme to the House of Assembly, because the only way out. Today, other states that are participating in contributory pension scheme are not suffering. But we are suffering because our state is not participating.
But infrastructure, Morero was famous for his infrastructure, opening up Katsina roads and all that. And to some extent, Brian Shima also.
No, I think Brian Shima confronted it. But I think we can compete favorably with any one of them in terms of how many roads we have built. Now, we have built Dusama, Saskia, Ukasam, which is over 49 kilometers. We have built Gora to Makaurechi, Dondogo, is another 49 kilometers. We have built Dei to Wawarkaza, is another 39 kilometers. We have built Fago, Kwasarawa to Adwa Road, Koza, which is over 40 kilometers. We have built Malabar Sandamu to Kwasarawa, which is almost getting 20 kilometers. Then we are building now currently Kankia Kusada. We are building, constructing Kafur Mahuta Kalairo. We are constructing Kankara to Zango, which we had to stop because of insecurity. We are constructing Limai to Karatwa. Then we have rehabilitated Dogon Malke to Kafur, Katsina here to Dankama. We are now working from Dankama to Adwa Bumbu. We are doing Zango from Zango to Fago, not to Fago. There's one Rugogo. I have forgotten. We reconstructed Marabam Sandam to Baure Babam 79 kilometers.
Sounds quite a lot.
So in terms of number of roads, we are not talking about feeder roads, which we have built over 2,000 kilometers.
Okay. Let me ask you a final question, because we have taken quite a bit of your time. You have said that when you leave as governor, you are retiring. You are done. Is this categorical? Are we not really likely to hear you maybe coming in some other way?
I am not going to contest election, going to National Assembly, or any other place. I'm not going to contest for party office. Let me, if I take you as my advisor, in the National Assembly, I rose to become Speaker. In the party APC, I rose to the position of Deputy National Chairman North. Now I am Governor of Katsina State. The current president is from Katsina. So if I say advising your office to contest, which is not really advising.
Vice President?
It's not Vice President, you don't contest for it.
Well then, but...
You don't contest for, you are just an additional requirement because Constitution says you have to be.
But it's a possibility, isn't it?
It's not a contestable office,
Yes.
right? You cannot present yourself as contesting.
Suppose it is given offer to you.
I'm not looking for it.
If it's offered to you.
I'm not looking for it.
Okay. I'd like to thank you most sincerely for giving us the opportunity to speak to you, and to thank viewers for joining us on this special interview with Governor Aminu Bello Masari, the current governor of Katsina State, and who knows what else in the future. Thank you.